Hello viewers, welcome to Unbox. Please subscribe to stay updated with all latest news on Donald Trump. Former President Donald Trump said during a Friday speech in Iowa that he would reinstate a travel ban to prevent riots like those in France from happening. Riots broke out in France following the police shooting of a 17-year-old who refused to comply during a traffic stop in Nanterre, a suburb of Paris. Police have made over 180 arrests during the violence, which has seen dozens of buildings, including police stations and schools, burned. When I return to office, the travel ban is coming back, even bigger than before and much stronger than before, Trump said during his speech. We don't want people blowing up our shopping centers, we don't want people blowing up our cities, and we don't want people stealing our farms. That's not going to happen. The United States will not be condemned to the same fate as is happening in France, Trump continued. And I told Macron this was going to happen when I first met him. Trump issued the travel ban from 7 countries with Muslim populations that were tied to terrorism on January 28, 2017. The ban was upheld by the Supreme Court in a 5-4 ruling in June 2018. We must also redouble our efforts to ensure that anyone who comes to America shares our values and assimilates into our culture, Trump told the audience in Council Bluffs, Iowa. We don't want people coming into our country that hate us, we want people that love us. Who the hell wants an open border for the world to spill in and for them to dump every person who's mentally ill, or a convicted killer or convict into our country? Trump asked later. I mean, who wants that? How is it good for us? The state Republican Party's decision to schedule its election for February 24 means the first in the South primary will potentially take place more than a month after Iowa and New Hampshire. That open stretch means South Carolina is poised to carry more weight than ever in determining whether former President Donald Trump's march to a third consecutive nomination will face a sustained threat stretching past the early states and into the meat of the primary calendar. Consider this, the GOP primary starts in Iowa in mid-January. New Hampshire votes the week after, perhaps on January 23. Then there's a long gap until South Carolina. While Nevada Republicans could hold their caucuses either before or immediately after South Carolina, the larger electorate in Delegate Hall from South Carolina has focused far more attention on the Palmetto State. Those dates are far from official, since the other 3 early states remain in flux. But the most likely scenario is now a historically lengthy run-up to the notoriously rough-and-tumble South Carolina primary, raising the stakes even higher for competing there. That could turn the state into a make or break for favorite son and daughter candidates Senator Tim Scott and former Governor Nikki Haley. It also ups the ante for Florida Governor Ron DeSantis, whose campaign celebrated the state GOP's decision to schedule the primary for a later date than initially expected. Trump's lead in South Carolina is considerable, but there's an opening for his challengers. 2 surveys last month from Republican polling firms gave the former president identical 23-point leads over DeSantis. But Trump was also at 41%, a lower share than in national and most other early state polling, thanks mostly to Scott and Haley each pulling around 10% of the vote. The challenge for DeSantis, Scott and Haley is consolidating the non-Trump vote behind just themselves. In each of the 2 surveys, their combined vote share was just slightly below Trump's. Thank you so much for watching this video. Don't forget to subscribe and make sure to press the bell icon to get notified when I upload a new video.